They didn't see him coming, just another delivery man, carrying a package, moving quietly through their driveway. At first, it was laughter, mocking jokes, sly smirks, and whispered insults, but in an instant, everything changed. The smiles froze, the air thickened. What they thought was ordinary, harmless, even funny, was about to shatter their assumptions in ways they could never imagine. Who was this man really, and why would discovering his identity leave them speechless, questioning everything they thought they knew? It was a bright Wednesday afternoon, and Marcus had just finished his last delivery of the day. The neighborhood was quiet, almost sleepy, with kids playing at a distance and the scent of freshly cut grass in the air. He had been a delivery man for years, reliable, hardworking, and always polite to most. He was invisible, just another face in the crowd, but to those who knew him, Marcus carried a quiet pride in his work. As he approached one particular house, he noticed a group gathered near the driveway, laughing and pointing. Something in their tone made him pause. He shrugged it off at first, thinking it was harmless teasing. He had encountered people like this before, but there was something different in the air this time, a tension that made his skin tighten. Unbeknownst to him, this ordinary delivery would become the day that tested not just his patience, but his dignity, and revealed truths no one in that neighborhood would soon forget. Marcus stepped onto the driveway, holding the small package carefully in his hands. The laughter stopped abruptly as he approached, replaced by hushed whispers and sideways glances. He tried to force a polite smile, but the unease in the air was unmistakable. One of the men, tall and smug, leaned against a car, pointing at him with a mocking grin. Marcus froze. He knew the weight of their gaze wasn't just curiosity, it carried judgment, assumptions rooted in the color of his skin. As he reached for the doorbell, one of the women sneered, her words sharp and deliberate. "Oh, it's just him." Marcus's stomach tightened. He had heard that tone before, countless times, but it never got easier. Every delivery, every polite exchange, felt like navigating a minefield where a single misstep could ignite ridicule or worse. The neighborhood, quiet and seemingly safe during the day, now felt like a stage, and he was the unwilling performer. He took a deep breath and rang the doorbell. Footsteps approached, and Marcus could feel the tension coiling tighter around him. The door opened just a crack, enough for eyes to peer out, narrow and suspicious. He extended the package. "Delivery for..." The words caught in his throat as the woman behind the door stepped forward, her expression a mix of amusement and disbelief. Her friends were giggling now, pointing at him openly. Every chuckle, every whisper, sliced through him. Marcus felt the familiar sting of being reduced to a stereotype, the invisible walls society had built around people like him pressing closer. He wanted to shrink, to disappear, but he couldn't. This wasn't just about delivering a package, it was about standing there, visible, human, refusing to be mocked into silence. And as he held the package out, steady despite his racing heart, he noticed a change in their expressions. The smirks wavered, replaced by curiosity, confusion, a flicker of something he couldn't quite place. But before he could register it, the tall man from earlier stepped closer, blocking part of the doorway, his tone dripping with derision. "What are you even doing here? Shouldn't you be somewhere else?" The words weren't just rude, they were meant to assert power, to make Marcus feel out of place, unsafe, unwelcome. Marcus's mind raced. He could retreat, leave the package, avoid confrontation, yet something inside him refused to bow to fear. Then came the pause, the moment that seemed suspended in time. Everyone in the driveway leaned in, their laughter halted, eyes fixed on him. Marcus realized this was the turning point. This wasn't just another delivery, another slight to endure silently. This was the moment that would define how they saw him, and how he allowed the world to see himself. And as he straightened his shoulders, ready to step into whatever came next, a hush fell over the group. Something about Marcus, something they hadn't expected, made the air heavy with anticipation. What they were about to discover would shatter their assumptions, leave them questioning their own judgments, and change the course of an ordinary day forever. Marcus held the package tightly, his knuckles white, as every eye in the driveway bore down on him. The air was thick with tension, silence stretching longer than he thought possible. Then, without warning, one of the men stepped forward, voice loud and cutting. "You think you belong here?" The words weren't just a question, they were a challenge, a statement meant to strip him of dignity in front of everyone. Marcus felt his heart hammering, adrenaline surging. He had faced prejudice before, but never this close, never so blatant. The laughter and whispers from moments ago seemed distant now, replaced by an icy awareness. Here, in this small patch of sunlight, he was being tested, judged solely for the color of his skin. Fear coiled tight in his stomach, but so did something else, a fierce, unyielding resolve. He straightened, eyes locking with theirs, and for the first time, the mockery didn't stick. He realized this wasn't just about delivering a package, it was about standing as himself, visible and unashamed, refusing to be diminished by ignorance, and then it happened, a subtle shift, almost imperceptible at first. Their smirks faltered, the confident posture of superiority wavered, the tall man's jaw tightened, the women's laughter faded. Something about Marcus, his calm defiance, the quiet strength in his stance, was unraveling the narrative they had written for him. Time seemed to slow as the realization hit. He wasn't invisible, he was not just another delivery man. The power dynamic, carefully assumed by their ridicule, was cracking under the weight of an unexpected truth, and in that suspended moment, the group's collective gaze softened, a mixture of disbelief, shock, and perhaps a dawning respect washing over them. Marcus handed over the package, finally breaking the silence, and as their hands received it, the energy in the driveway changed entirely. What had begun as mockery ended in stunned silence, and in that pause, everyone, him included, understood one thing: appearances can deceive, assumptions can fail, and sometimes, the quietest person in the room holds the loudest truth. Marcus walked away from the house that afternoon, package delivered, but his mind was racing. The tension, the fear, the judgment he had endured, it stayed with him, like an invisible weight pressing on his shoulders. Yet, for the first time that day, he felt something else too, a quiet sense of vindication. The laughter had died, the mockery had ended, and for a fleeting moment, those who had assumed superiority were forced to confront the truth. Marcus was not what they expected, and their assumptions had been shattered. As he continued down the street, he thought about how often people are judged before they are truly seen, how countless others face similar moments every single day, their worth diminished by prejudice and ignorance. Marcus's experience was not unique. It was a reflection of a deeper, systemic problem that stretches far beyond one driveway or one neighborhood. But in that moment, he understood the power of resilience, of standing tall when the world tries to push you down. By simply existing, by doing his job with dignity, Marcus had flipped the script. The incident wasn't just a personal victory, it was a reminder to anyone who has been underestimated, marginalized, or dismissed because of skin color: your presence matters, your identity matters, and the assumptions of others are not the measure of your worth. And yet, the story leaves a question hanging in the air: how many more must face the same mockery, the same prejudice, before real change takes hold? How long will the world continue to judge people by the color of their skin rather than the content of their character? Marcus's day ended, but the story did not. It echoes far beyond that street, challenging each of us to see, to listen, and to act, because in the end, justice is not always loud, but its impact can resonate forever.